It's wonderful to see you, and today we're going to talk about how to make a really fun trim that adds so much to our knitted and crocheted projects. And that little item is this, and we call it a tassel. And I used to think these were called tassels, and these are in fact called fringe. So I just did a video on how to make the fringe. I'm going to link to that for you now. That will be in the upper corner, and you can see that. And for today we're going to focus on how to make these adorable little tassels. So these little trims, I mean, you can do them in any weight of yarn. So you can see here I've got, this is a bulky weight yarn, so this is like a 5 weight. And then this, and it's a craft store yarn. And then this is a beautiful Madeline Tosh hand dye in a fingering weight. So you can make your trims from any weight of yarn that you like. It can be inexpensive, or it can be more higher end. And you know, that's kind of the fun of these things. You can make it the way you like to make it. So let's check out how we make one of these little things. So I'm bringing back my old friend, the DVD case, because it works so well. I will measure it out and I'll give you the dimensions in the down bar. So if you want to, like, what I would suggest is cutting a piece of cardboard if you don't have one of these, and use the cardboard as your pattern. And then you can go this way, and you can also go this way. I have done both. But for today's purposes, we're just going to go the short end. So we just do like we did last time with the fringe, and we're just going to wrap. You wrap more times for a tassel. So let's see. So that's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's go with 10 wraps. 10, maybe 11, 12, 13. 14. Let's say 14. Okay, so I have 14 wraps, and then I'm gonna trim it here. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take a piece of here of the yarn that you're using, and you're going to come under the wraps, and you come up to the top, and what you're going to do is tie that off, and I'm just going to do that as like a square knot. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take this off, and then keep those ends up there, and then you lay your work out, and then you're going to take another length of your yarn and cut that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to kind of like make a necklace on your tassel. So I'm coming down from the top, and this is just where you want to do it, really. It's kind of just a personal thing. There's no right or wrong way to do it, but you just come down a little from the top, and then you tie it really tight, and you tie it again so you have a nice little square knot, and then you just pull those ends down. And to finish, what you're going to want to do is come through here and trim these parts. And then you're going to take your little tassel, and you're going to fiddle where you tied that little necklace and get that to like lay flat. And then, you know, it's kind of messy. So it's just like giving a haircut. You're just going to do just like you were doing a cut. And you want to be careful. I do recommend using good scissors. It'll make your yarn crafting so much nicer. And there you have it. And there's your little tassel. Isn't that cute? So then let's talk about how to put it on the project. So if we want to put it on the project, and we're just going to attach it to this this garter sample. So let's say we want to put it on that corner. Now when we did the fringe, we worked on the right side. So now we're going to work on the wrong side of our project to attach the tassel. And we know this is the wrong side of the fabric because we can see where we joined the yarn. If you want more of an explanation on how to join a new ball of yarn, I'm going to link to that for you now. But you can see where we have this kind of different or uneven edge, and here we have like this nice clean edge. So we know that's our right side and we know that's our wrong side. But you know, honestly, you might like that better and want that to be your right side, and you can do that as a design element. That's the fun thing about making your own projects. You decide what you want, but for the purposes of today's project, we're gonna go with this as being the wrong side. Okay, so we're gonna put this this tassel on, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this tapestry needle and I'm going to thread my yarn, and what I'm going to do is, I know I want it to be about right here, so I'm going to come up. And this is just the way that I do it. I'm sure there are a million ways to do it, but this is how I do it. Okay, I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to bring this one over here. Most of the time we see these big tassels as like finishing elements on blankets and things like that. And I'm just going to come under here. Okay. And then here's what I do. So you have a couple of options. You could take these ends and weave them in just like you would weave in any other ends. Or, hold on. So as I was saying, you have a couple of options. You could go ahead and weave this end in like you would any other project, which is fine, but then this is going to be a permanent part of whatever the piece is. What I typically do is I'm going to just tie, and I don't do it super tight. I'm just going to tie in a little bitty bow and then just trim it. Now the reason that I do it this way is because typically this is going to be on something like a blanket, and generally a baby blanket, and you're going to want to be able to wash that piece, and these aren't going to do so well in the washing machine, and then you would wind up having to cut them, and which is fine if it's your own project and you're just, you know, remaking it, but if you give it as a gift, you want to be able to take these tassels off. And you can see from the front, I mean, it looks adorable. You know, it's just as cute as it can be. And you can then just remove this during washing. It's really up to you. So that's just kind of how I do it. And yes, you can obviously see the work on the back, but I don't know, I think that's kind of a cute little handmade touch. If it really bothers you, then you can certainly just weave your ends in. Okay, so I went ahead and I pulled that out and redid it so that this side would be on the front, and then the knot where I tied at the necklace would be on the back. I just think that's a little bit nicer. And there's our little bow. Probably could trim that a little more. And there we have it. Okay, now I'm satisfied. That just looks a little bit nicer. You can see, like on this one, you can see where that knot is. So make sure that that's on the back side of your work. Okay, well that is how you make and attach a tassel, and this works with either your knitting or your crochet, and that's what I have for you today. So